All right, here we go. And the draft has just started, just as I got into it. First ban, Zigara. Pretty easy, pretty
Is it going to be a
standard.
Rhaegar first ban? Is this going to be a Rhaegar ban? It's either going to be. Yep, there it
Yep.
is. It was either going to be a Rhaegar ban or a first pick Rhaegar.
Mm. Yeah, neither
That's just
team's going
what
to be
we've been
killing
seeing
from
all
this.
day, and I don't see why that would change.
All right, so it's Blackheart's Bay. And now, Negative Synergy do have the advantage here. They do have a 1 point advantage because they did win through, obviously played the winner's bracket and never gave up any sort of series. So they do have the advantage going to this game. Li Ming first picked. We talked about that not being, not being. She wasn't that high priority. But in the last couple of games, we've seen Li Ming actually picked first a couple of times now.
Yeah, I
So,
think that negative synergy really, like as a team, put a reasonably high priority on
yep.
that particular hero. I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised to see the Jaina pick up first, but we could see Microgods pick up Jaina Thrall,
Mm.
as we have seen very frequently on this on the second side. Whoop, there's both of them hovered. They have some time to think about it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do just go with the Jaina Thrall or maybe even like a Jaina Uther just to pick up that priority healer before the second round of bans.
Well, they've locked in the Jaina, so definitely going down with that. And again,
Mm,
good pick. Recently buffed. We've already said it. Recently buffed. Good
she's strong,
skills.
she's popular.
It's Blackheart's Bay. You're going to have a lot of fighting around a particular point, so it's a good character to have. Should be building, a map like this. Build yourself for team fights because you are going to run into the other enemy. There's no objectives where you're required to burn down something.
They
The
actually
chest
go with
spawn.
the Abathar.
Oh, they're actually taking it. Going
Take
a
Abathar. Yeah, trying to
similar.
use trying to go with the similar comp that Negative Synergy used last game. Or Microgods actually used last game,
That
sorry.
they used
Yeah,
themselves
they
last
used
game.
themselves against.
Mm.
Yeah, Abathar Jaina, as was seen earlier today, can be a very potent combination. When you have a double Jaina,
Yep.
you
Well,
have a lot of damage. You can
you
pretty much build around that combination.
clone the Jaina. You can really take at the moment. I mean, they're still very open with what they take. They're looking at. They won't be taking anyone purely for lane clearing. So obviously Zagara's already out of the mix, but I doubt we'll see any other heroes like that. I doubt we'll see Leoric. I mean, I guess Micro God's probably looking at a Muradin. The Muradins, the Rainers, their supports. Looking at the Malfurion or the Uther, depending on what their other follow-up heroes are going to be. I mean, they're
If they're
still
able
very
to,
open.
yeah, if they're able to manage to get their hands on an ETC Uther combo, then that would be really strong. But and they've
Mm.
also got last pick of the game, so if they want to have something interesting at the end of it, they could very well do that. But into the second round of bans, they're actually going to ban out the Uther themselves. Interesting.
All right, so
So,
they don't
'cause-
want to take it.
yeah, they've got the next round of picks, so obviously they must have a specific healer in mind, or else they wouldn't have banned it out like that. But
I mean, that could also
Zeratul
tell you that they're not planning to take the ETC either, because the Divine Shield on the
potentially
ETC, yep, it's pretty strong in that regards. So
could
Native
also go
Synergy
with
picked
the.
up. Let's say we didn't talk about Native Synergy. They picked up Diablo and they picked up Thrall. So like the Uther
Mm.
ban, pretty good thing. If you're not going to take it, remove it. So Native Synergy can't use that behind a Thrall. A Thrall engage or a Thrall
Oh
going in
yeah,
and do damage. So it's definitely a very
allowing
good
any of
pick
those
there.
heroes to just fight freely without fear is a little bit dangerous.
That's it. Even Li Ming and Divine Shield and Li Ming
Oh
buy
yeah,
extra time for another takedown to occur on the enemy team, and then
okay,
all their
there's some
abilities
outfit.
reset.
And are they going to go for the grey main? That would be quite fun to see two grey mains flying around.
Well, we
That
saw that a lot in the qualifier rounds as well. The Abathar cloning the Greymane did a lot of damage. He just has so much great poke and dive capability that
yeah,
during those bigger team fights, being able to do that, uh, was scoring a ton of kills.
yeah, and when you have that apathy clone, you can
Mm.
play with much less fear because if you go down, it's not really a problem. It was just a clone. But
Yeah, you're not too concerned about the clone dying. It's better not to die to the hand of the enemy because they do gain a little bit of experience from the clone,
yep,
but it doesn't
it
really matter.
in the right at the right times, you can just play with full aggression,
Mm.
and that can really turn a fight. Here we finally coming to the last picks for negative synergy. They will have to pick up a support and maybe perhaps I don't know what they would go with. They could probably go with the Karazim, maybe even a Brightwing for that a little bit of global presence.
I think if you look at what's left on the board for negative synergy, they still obviously they still require support, and that gives them Lieutenant Morales and Karazim left. I really feel they're probably their only two options here.
There's the
As far
Joe.
as
They're
tank,
going for another tank.
okay. Oh, yeah,
Yes,
you
I
did go the Brightwing.
called it.
Very nicely called, Brightwing. The global presence is always something to be feared. Can spend a lot of time soaking in a lane and then move to a situation which is needed. Just will Brightwing have enough healing to be able to go through the Jaina, the double Jaina or double Greymane when
Yeah,
Avatar does pull out the clone?
there's a lot of burst on the Micro Gods team comp, and Brightwing's healing isn't all that instantaneous. It's quite gradual, and it's going to be interesting to see if they actually are able to play around team fights in a way that they don't get just immediately singled out by that burst damage. But the last pick, Muradin, they're going pretty much all in on this burst. They want to stun and they want to kill in the time that they are stunned.
Mm.
Yeah, this both some very interesting team comps. For the map, I'm not sure which, or for this particular map, I'm not sure which team actually came out better because both teams had their global presence, the Brightwing and the Abathur. They have an immense amount of damage, Thrall Leeming and Jaina Greymane, and the amount of durability that they have is pretty damn good also. So it's, I mean, I'm not too sure which side actually came out best, and it's probably going to go back to yet again team play.
The only thing that I feel fearful for negative synergy is the Brightwing pick. I mean that's the little one that's not odd, but I just feel the healing behind Brightwing may not be enough to keep up with the Greymane Jaina Abathur combo. But aside from that, yeah, it really comes down to how they're both going to play.
One thing I think that will really help is using a polymorph on a Greymane that goes in.
Hmm.
If the Brightwing is able to time that just right, you have a Greymane who has just dived in and is doing nothing for about a second. And in that time, negative synergy has the amount of damage where they could just immediately burst them down. There is that potential to happen if the Brightwing is in the right position. We'll have to see if that actually comes to play.
If that's a factor or not, yep. Yeah, it's lining up to be a very, very intriguing game. Just to see, basically it's going to come down to, is the double Jaina or double Greymane going to be more damage versus the survivability from negative synergy, where we'll have a Brightwing healing, Johanna being unstoppable, Thrall just self-sustaining, and possibly Li Ming going a bit more defensive-based talents and try and keep herself alive.
She could probably afford to go a little bit more aggro. If she's able to be on point with her, like, teleporting, she should be reasonably safe, but yeah.
My fear for her would just be the Greymane. Not so much the first Greymane, but the clone Greymane.
Oh yeah, because that one, it's not the first Greymane you have to fear, it's the second one.
Yeah. It's the shadowy death Greymane. Oh, hang on, you're not in the game. Let's get you in.
That would be wonderful. Could this be potentially the last game of the day?
Well, if Negative Synergy is able to win from this game, they do have a they do have a 1-round advantage because they are the winners from the winners bracket. So they do go to this 1 game up already. They have to win 1 game to be kind of the grand finalists, to be the champions. However, Micro Gods, they've done a really good job coming back. They still need to win 2. They just need to win this first game to equal out the final series.
All good.
But here we are, so potentially the last game of the day could be Blackhearts Bay.
To be honest, I'm kind of glad that it's not Towers of Doom. There was a lot of Towers of Doom in those qualifiers.
Yeah, there was.
That 28 shot, what the hell?
That's a lot of core damage all of a sudden.
Yeah, that was just insane. I mean, who does that? Who thinks, oh, we're at 28 health, we're dead. Like, oh, what the?
It just
Yeah,
goes to show it was a bad time to take a team fight.
it was,
Three towers, like three set of temple spawns, like
the
altar
planets
spawn.
aligned for that one. Anyway,
Definitely. All right, here we are in the game, and it is negative synergy on the blue side. We do have a Ninja. We're playing a Li Ming. Robus on the Diablo. Skimmies on the Johanna. We've actually got Dasperts playing as Brightwing. And in the bottom there, Benjamin94 is being Thrall.
and on the red side we have Micro Gods looking to come back from the losers bracket to take this whole thing. We have Godzilla playing the Jaina, Tuga on the Muradin, Vikarak on the Greymane, Physics again on the Abathur, and Jadi again on the Malfurion. And it looks like we've got a handful of the players heading towards the site point.
However, Micro Gods doesn't
Yeah,
really.
they're just wanting to sit back and.
Well, they're trying their strategy again. See if they can. Oh, I thought they might have been trying to block him, but no, it's way too late to try that now.
Yeah, it looked like they might have been trying to go for that, but they weren't in position to do it, and I don't think it is all that effective on this map. But they are just going to be hanging around this middle lane. They're not going to be pushing too far. They have the Abathur up there to try and keep that under wraps, but there's a little bit of wave clearing here and there, while Ninja is trying to beat down those towers with his abilities, as we saw Benjamin doing in the last game. But here comes the chest, and they do go on to Malfurion. He does get polymorphed, and they do put a lot of the damage down on him. He does get taken out immediately, and that's going to be that chest at least for the blue team. But in the bottom lane, Vikarak on this Greymane actually does take out the Thrall.
Yeah, ow, that was not unexpected. Looking at the one-on-one matchup between Greymane and Thrall, thinking, so if you know what, Greymane does have the potential.
It's a volatile
take that
matchup.
fight, yeah. But Thrall with the heal from his self-sustainable heal, maybe. But no, it's obviously Greymane has shown to be the better selection there.
Yeah, I wasn't really watching, but maybe there was an Abathur intervention, but yeah. 5 of the coins going over to negative synergy, 5 of the coins going over to Micro Gods, so not too much advantage gained there, but Ninja's been doing a lot of damage to those towers in the mid lane. One of them's already down, and the second one is almost taken out as well, and now they're just moving on towards the top side, with Skimmy and Ninja moving up to try and push back against the Jaina and Abathur. It looks like the Greymane is going to be handing in those 5 coins, not wanting to risk giving those up. And that mid tower does get taken out, so there's a little bit of an experience lead, but not by much. Nothing too considerable, as negative synergy picks up those camps to pick up just a few of those coins. They almost have enough for a full turn, and it looks like Despotes is caught out a little bit by the Muradin. Not too much damage put down, and that should be healed up without too much problem, as both teams are kind of spread out across the map as they do try to get a gank onto this Thrall, and he's in a bad position. He does get taken out by the gank with the help of Godzilla on the Jaina, and here comes the Diablo with the help of the Brightwing, and they do actually slam him right into that camp, and they pick up the Thrall, the Greymane, sorry.
Yes, they did a bit of a trade. So they got the Thrall kill, but then they followed up and they got their own. He got his own Greymane kill as well.
Yeah, very good coordination from the Brightwing to come down and help with that polymorph to secure that kill.
Yeah, apart from that sharp moment of excitement, it's died down again.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's been pitted out to a bit more of a lukewarm kind of feeling, as it looks like negative synergy are working on those bruiser camps, while microgods are working on the siege camps, managing to get those a little bit quicker, and they're going to have the coins to hand in for their first turn in. It doesn't look like Thrall is going to be able to get the interrupt. Actually, he might be able to. They do get 4 of the coins in, but it does look like Rapidoba is going to go down. He does get taken out, but on the return, the Malfurion gets taken out, and it does look like Negative Synergy are going to be able to take this fight. They keep on putting damage onto the Muradin. He does manage to dwarf toss himself out, and the retreating Blizzard does help with the disengage, and Ninja not able to finish off that kill, but they do manage to get that turn in.
Yeah, so it's actually negative synergy that's going to get the first hand in of the game, and they've already done so much work to the mid lane here that they're actually going to get a
Oh,
nice lead should come from this. Plus, they'll start pressuring one of the other lanes as well with the cannons. Vicarak down bottom does throw a little bit of a Glenn cocktail at the enemy, but doesn't really deter them too much.
just a bit of poking here and there, just to try and at least thin out the wave. And it does look like negative synergy are just going to move on to this bottom camp as they see that a bunch of the members are not in position to stop them, and that's going to be another camp in favor of negative synergy, and they're just going to push onto this bottom lane because
Yeah.
they keep. Oh, they see that the rest of Micro Gods are going
Oh,
onto
no,
Despots,
bribing.
and they do manage to take him out with that nice rotation. But that does give negative synergy the opportunity to continue pushing onto this bottom wave without too much of the threat.
Besides the fact that you didn't want anyone to die on your team, it is a little bit of a nice buy, get 2 towers and then get out.
Oh yeah.
And in fact, they might even be able to do something here as well, as we have, we've had members of Micro Gods rotate down. Do they have enough?
Robodova is getting aggressed upon, but the Brightwing does come in to give a little bit of heals. The stun does go onto the Malfurion. They do manage to stun him up, and they keep on going after him, and they do manage to take him out. And he's the first one down, and the Greymane is being chased after as well. It's going to be not too long until the Lightning Storm takes him out, and they do take up the Jaina also, and that's going to
Wow.
be 3 quick kills, and that could very well be another turn in. They have the coins for it. And
That was just so big play. See the Greymane right at the end. Knew he was going to die. Left back at Benjamin 94, and Doomhammer just connected with his
just
face.
slapped him with it. Yeah, that's
Said, "Down, boy," said Benjamin 94 to Greymane.
yeah. And Tucker, with the help of the Abathur, is trying to get aggressive onto the right wing, but he's almost going to get taken out. But the slam is going to manage to keep him safe, and they do manage to take him out just in time for Despots to get out alive. And
Well, not only
With
alive, but they
level-
got a kill as
yeah.
well.
yeah,
Negative
They've
Synergy
got
have just started to
decent
really
experience.
pull away in this game and lead. They're all level. They got their level 10 heroics, and they're just using them to such a great effect. They got Apocalypse, Blessed Shield, Sunder, Blink Heal, and Disintegration Ray coming out. Disintegrate, sorry. And we only see level 10 has just been reached by Micro Gods, and they're still selecting them.
Tranquility standard, the Evolution standard, the Go for the Throat, Water Elemental, and the Avatar. Not too bad. With the Jaina, we have been seeing a little bit of a variance between the Ring of Frost and the Elemental.
Water Elemental, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I think, depends on what you feel is right for the team comp and the way you particularly play. And it looks like there's going to be a bit of an exchange across this turning point as damage does go onto the Johanna, and then they turn on to Ninja as the Greymane does get polymorphed, and they do back away.
Yeah, they really pushed
they-
them off that point, didn't they? Like,
Yeah.
so hard.
Micro Guys do get the turn in. They do use the Abathur ult to get a second Jaina as Ninja does try and get some damage with the Disintegration Ray. The polymorph does negate some of the Tranquility as the Apocalypse does come out and take out the Greymane. Malfurion just drops
Whoa.
as well, as there's just not enough staying power for Micro Gods to keep up in these fights, and it looks like they're going to be able to take out Tuka. Benjamin is chasing down. Oh, the
Yeah, he's
slam.
gone. He's done for the Shadow Charge coming out from Diablo into the Overpower, into
And
the rest
that's
of his
enough.
team.
That's another bunch of quick kills for them and for no return, and they're just going to turn onto the boss. They know that they've taken out most of the enemy team. They know that they have the pressure advantage, and they know that if the push comes to shove, they would be able to fight. So they just push on towards this boss, and there's absolutely nothing that Micro Gods can do about it.
Yeah, no, that's it. They had to respond in the bottom lane to another set of siege. They just had a bunch of heroes die, and in their mind they're probably thinking, oh, we need to soak experience. But while they're soaking that experience, yeah, we just saw Negative Synergy pick up the boss. Now they've got to respond to the boss. What's Negative Synergy going to do behind here? They can go and pick up merc camps. They can go pick up just the general mobs on the map to get more coins for another hand. And we're all seeing we're seeing about 9 coins at the moment, are they? 9. Look, they can almost have a hand in right now. In fact, they probably
They do have a hand.
now.
They
with
have
extra
enough hand in
coins.
with them taking that last bruiser camp, and they have the position to be able to...
Yep.
Oh, there was a disintegration raid. Disintegration maybe to try and pick out some of the mines, but not necessary, and that's just going to be a clean turn in, and there's absolutely nothing that Microgods can actually do about that.
Yeah, it's another one, and they're going to see this cannon fire go on the middle lane here.
Oh, it's... Oh, Physics is going to cop that. Oh!
Oh! That looked a bit detrimental
that was
for
so
him.
close. If he was just a little bit... Just a little bit in the middle,
He
almost got taken.
both of them.
that would have been a little bit embarrassing.
Not a good spot to sit in.
Yeah. That's a lot of damage onto the base of the Microgods. And, oh, speaking of being out of position, Physics is almost in a position where he could get taken out, but...
Now he's back, he's safe, he's beyond the walls. Nothing's going to be able to get from here. We're just going to see negative synergy just rotate into this. And now, what will Microgods do? How will they respond? They're just going to push him back a little bit. They don't want to overextend too much.
Or
Oh, they do want that kill on Skimmy, but...
Yeah, they're getting some damage down onto the Johanna. The amount of healing from the Blood Ring is not enough, but the Apocalypse does come down, and it does land on a bunch of them. This damage is going through, but it's going to return really well. The healing from the Malfurion is actually working, and they are managing to turn around this fight, and that's a clean 5-0. And wow, managing to take out that Johanna did actually work out in the end.
Yeah, we just kept
Finally,
applying that
team is able to take out the
pressure.
Johanna, and they can finally get a team fight. And that was really well done. The amount of healing from the Malfurion was able to do was, and they were able to actually get onto the damage dealers of negative synergy. And
Well, you saw Thrall and Li Ming almost died almost around the same time.
Yeah.
Just look at this death scenario. They're about to have the coins for a hand in. The top lane's pushing. The middle lane will fall from this hand in. And what's the condition of the bot lane? I mean, they possibly might push 3 sets of fortifications all at once.
yeah, and they've even got a little bit of an experience lead from that.
Yeah, so that this could
They've really turned it around.
put them to such a commanding position. And you wouldn't suspect from that angle that would happen.
Yeah, Skimmy was just on that. Johanna was just a little bit out of position. Then, oh, they're actually going to go in onto the Grey Mane. He does almost get taken out. Ninja on the side is almost being able to get him with the disintegration. He does, and here comes the reset. Ninja going in. Oh, Zap's right on point, and
Yeah, it's
it
an ice
does
block.
almost get taken out. The damage is a lot, and Ninja does get taken out, and Brightwing does not manage to get the heal on. It does get it onto... Ooh, and there's a lot of the damage from the substitute Jaina, and this is not enough damage that Skimmy can do to actually push this fight in their favor, and that's just going to be another wipe for Microgods. And
Wow,
this game is
Microgods
turning
might be
even
coming
more in their
back.
favor.
Just
Yeah.
making a couple of poor decisions from this hand in. Can they actually get any of the... No, they shouldn't be able to break through just yet. Each one still has its set of towers and walls. But, I mean, yeah, the experience has jumped. It's in their advantage. Not only they're about to have a 2-level lead. Definitely have a 2-level lead from this, I feel. And, yeah, wow, negative synergy, like, going like... And it just shows you that Brightwing, while the polymorph has been good, it's just,
The
it's
healing
just
hasn't
not
been
having to
enough.
heal. Yeah, not for how they're trying to play. They're trying to get these smart picks off, and they're just not working for them, and then they're sticking around too long.
Oh yeah, it's the amount of damage, when the kind of damage that is coming through for Microgods, the gradual healing from a Brightwing is just not nearly enough to sustain in those fights. Yes, Thrall has his own form of sustain, and the amount of shielding that Li Ming can give herself with the teleport can be helpful, but it's not enough to survive in these fights.
Oh man, Microgods almost have enough for another... Oh, do they have? No, 2 coins out, 2 coins down.
2 coins off. So any camp that they do should give them enough for that turn in, but it looks like they're trying to get a pick around that turning point, but negative synergy, they're just looking to go straight for the boss, and they know it.
They're on a time limit now.
They are
'cause
revealed.
The mine's gone off. They've been shown. They know what's going on. Overall, I'm sorry, not override. Microgods can rotate up very fast now.
They're trying to bait it now, but Toolkit goes forward. Skimmy goes forward also, and it looks like they're going to be a big fight. The clone does get taken out immediately, as it looks like Benjamin does go low, doesn't actually get taken out though. The first death is going to be the Johanna, but it does look like the Diablo's going to go down also, and the damage is just not really on point for negative
Melting.
synergy and all that, and they're just not able to keep in the fight. And three fights in a row that's a wipe in favor of microgods, and they could probably just push, go towards this bottom lane and push, and maybe uh, potentially try to end because they've got the death time is a reasonably high. They have a lot of their damage still available, like all of it, because no one had died yet.
And they're all still alive.
Yeah, they're looking like they're wanting to just finish this and even up this series.
Look at that going into this.
Oh, there we go.
They clearly have this. I don't think. No
second
way.
Jana, yeah. Yeah, and that was a really good turnaround from Microgods. They looked to be on the back foot, especially after there was those early turn-ins from Negative Synergy and also that early boss, and then it all turned around at that bottom fight when skimming on that Johanna got a little bit too far forward, got taken out early, and the rest of the fight just fell in favor of Microgods, and then that was just the story for the rest of the game. Just they were not able to stick in those fights as long as Microgods were. And that is, well, that was interesting. That was not how I expected it to go.
It did not pan out as well as they obviously as they wanted. Just the moment Microgods took that fight, that initial game wiped. I mean, they just got coins. They got about 2 or 3 hands in a row.
Yeah. Got about 20 something coins.
That's it. Yeah, they got the big wipe, a lot of experience. Then they got all the experience from the cannons, and then they just been able to keep compounding it. The fight started. We saw a lot of damage come out from Lei Ming, but it didn't go on to very good targets. It kept hitting the Abatha clone. Now, obviously, in the heat of battle, it's hard to identify the Abatha clone versus the other members, especially when there's so much going on. But they did a good job killing the clone, but then they just didn't have anything to follow up. They really needed that stronger healer, I feel. Needed that stronger healer to be able to sustain them again to their cooldowns come around.
Yeah, it was. They were playing it reasonably well for most of their game. It was just when it came to those late game all-ins from Microgods, they just didn't have the healing necessary, or just the overall sustain. They just could not deal with the amount of damage that Microgods had.
Yep. Hands down. So we will get ready for the next draft. Will be on Inferno Shrines. Will actually be the map.
Nice.
So this is the site. Inferno Shrines
is
officially the last map of today. Zagara has been banned out from Microgods. No surprise there.
Surprise, surprise. Is it going to be a Rhaegar ban?
Yep, Rhaegar, master of the arena.
Jaina pick first. Well. Yep, there we go. Probably Lei Ming Thrall.
Lei Ming into Thrall. We thought we were just going to see the same comps as last game.
Well, as we've been saying today, we're not sure how much they want to be showing, considering that they have a lot more to fight for next week. But the Abatha Lei Ming, okay, they go for.
Ooh.
Oh, interesting. They want to go for the double assassin, or double up on an assassin. They see that Microgods have taken that Jaina. They don't want to allow them to have that double Jaina again. They realize that was a problem, and that's one way of taking care of it. Just do it yourself.
Yeah, select as your own option. But then what do you pair it up with? Is Lei Ming a good Abatha clone option? You don't get access to disintegration because it's a heroic, so you are looking at the arcane missiles, the teleport, and the arcane orb.
She does have a lot of damage in those abilities alone, so. And with the amount of aggression that the aggressive positioning that Lei Ming can do, and the amount of damage that she can do from that position is really quite powerful. And if it's going to be an Abatha clone that doesn't have to worry about dying, the amount of damage she can get, like from right up being close, cannot be underestimated.
Yep. So Diablo is going to be actually really good on this map, as teams are finding to grab the skulls or grab the victories against the little minions. Diablo being able to go in there and take someone. So Thrall fighting amongst the things. Negative Synergy rocks up, or someone from Negative Synergy rocks up and tries to go in there and poke. Diablo can go throw them over the shoulder, overpower them over the
Mm.
shoulder, and just get them stuck amongst the minion and other heroes. So they potentially get a lot of kills there, especially when fighting around those shrines. It's just movement-wise can be difficult at times.
Yeah, it's a rather limited space that you're working with when you're sitting on those shrines, and I th the Thrall Diablo combo is quite strong.
Well, it's going to be able to get a significant amount of work done, knowing that they're going to be able to kill a lot of the minions there. But yeah, if someone oversteps their boundaries, they are probably gonna be killed.
I'm thinking for negative synergy now they could very well go for Uther ETC
Hmm.
or Uther and Uberak. Also a good combination. I keep on harping on about that Uther ETC because it's really annoying when an ETC manages to lock down two or three members of your team, but you can't stun him out of it because he's got a divine shield on.
Well, that's it. You could take someone to deal with it, to deal with the situation, but
Yeah.
they may not get any value because of the Uther. Now,
Mm.
interesting lineup here. A Nubarak. I don't.
We saw it earlier. It was reasonably good. Managed to get
Enough.
some nice, set up some nice
Yeah.
picks, but
I'm just sort of concerned looking at it, right? We have the Nubarak. Who's the last pick for negative synergy? Are they going to risk solo tanking with a Nubarak?
solo tanking with the Nuvarak he hasn't really been the best ever since his Beetle build got nerfed.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting
Well,
to
but the
see
thing
what they go with for that
will it
last
be
pick.
enough? Because they're going to be relying on Li Ming being cloned by the Avatar.
Do you think maybe a Sonya to round out that composition? A bit of a bruiser. They could sit alongside a Nuvarak, but also be enough of a threat.
That's pretty funny. Microgods have a pick here. If they picked up Sonya right now, I
Yeah,
I don't think that would be too bad for their combination, to be honest.
yeah, it would be pretty good. They've got the decent front line, decent back line.
I guess that still opens native synergy to say pick someone like Johanna, but they're then
Janet
relying.
Hannah's banned.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's right. That's probably why they won't pick her then. All right, so Microgod's going for the grey main and negative synergy. Yeah, I feel a Sonya or a bruiser of that caliber.
I do love Artanis, but I know he's not good. I want him to be useful, but he's too slow to become useful. But yeah, Sonya would fit into this comp, I do believe.
It's just unless negative synergy are using this as a sort of a bit of a testing ground in the
Could possibly
competitive
go with a
environment.
Vala. Vala could work, especially on the
Oh
Infernal
yeah.
Shrines. We saw it before. We saw the double Vala when
Mm.
Microgods used it against
No,
Override, but they do go for the
Rainer.
Rain at the other, what,
Yeah.
another like hero, which
Interesting.
that
So
can work just as well. Yeah, the amount of control that he can have over like areas of the map with the Hyperion can be really, really powerful.
No, it's just interesting. Just looking at the clone target from Avatar, if they are going to clone, maybe he's going to go monstrosity. Um,
That'd be the day.
yeah. Like really, the only target really worth cloning would be Li Ming, unless you're going to do like double CC coming up for Nubarak.
We just go double Rainer, just shoot the hell out of them.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Yeah, that
Rainer seems like it could be a potential Abathar clone, but it doesn't actually work as well as intended because he doesn't keep up as well. He
There's
can't just
better-
like dive himself in.
there's better targets.
Yeah, the Li Ming will probably be the target for those Abathar ults, but yeah, an interesting way to end off the day.
It definitely is.
Hmm.
Right, so the red team is going to be negative synergy. Oops. So just excuse me while I update brackets again. And hopefully they're right.
Oh yeah, and as mentioned in the chat, Clone Li Ming still get resets.
Yeah, I didn't think she didn't get the resets. But again, it just... And I feel with Li Ming, a lot of your value with those resets definitely comes from the resetting disintegration.
Oh yeah, Just the
Spin
amount
around
of
in a
damage you can
circle and
get.
you're like an
Just,
arcane punisher.
uh, like I can do damage too. Just stand in it.
But yeah, it's again, this is coming down to the wire. Unless one team plans to throw this match, both
Whoop.
teams are looking pretty good.
Could go either way.
It's I mean the Anubarak, the solo tank Anubarak, I'm still very interested with. He did have. Yeah, no, I'm interested in the Anubarak. I'm not.
How sustainable he's going to be. He does have an
Yeah.
Uther and Abathur at his back to try and keep him alive, but yeah, it's with a Thrall, Jaina, and Greymane bearing down on him. It's going to be hard to see how he lasts too long in these fights.
Yeah. Oh well. We'll see how both of these teams really go off. What really their thoughts are. Micro Gods will be the Jaina, Thrall, Diablo, Malfurion, Greymane, and a negative synergy are going to be the Reyna, Anubarak, Uther, Li Ming, and Abathur. We're just waiting for this game to start. And just, I know negative synergy had the last pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just thinking there wasn't maybe a little bit of a play there where Micro Gods were looking at it and they were going to take another warrior, a tank, maybe Murder or something like that. But then kind of went, oh, negative synergy. They could take Reyna as their last slot. Has a record for being a little bit of a tank destroyer.
A bit of a tank buster.
That's it with the giant killer.
Yeah. Anyway.
Alright, here we are. Alright, so this is the final game of the day for the ANZ Heroes Showdown, Summer Showdown. And on the right hand side of the map is red, looking to be the winners. It is a negative synergy where we have Benjamin reprising his role as Li Ming. We have Dadspurt on the Uther, Ninja on the Amethyst, Robodoba is playing the Anubarak, and Skimmy will be playing as Reyna.
And on the blue side, we have Micro Gods looking to go all the way from the losers bracket and to try and take this whole tournament. On the Thrall, it is Godzilla, Tugger on Diablo, Vicarak on the Greymane, Jaddy on Malfurion, and Physics finally not playing that Abathur, he's playing Jaina. And we have a little bit of a skirmish in this mid lane. Both teams.
Yeah, nothing big going on now. They're just going to be poking at each other, doing a little bit of damage. Might maybe see Anubarak do a little bit of a dive in, see if he can get someone. Not right now, it'd be a terrible idea, but I think that's the path he might be going.
Yeah, and the Reynas just heads up to the top to try and get a little bit of experience for the team and get a little bit of a push going, as the rest of the team is just going to be roaming in between mid and bottom lane.
Well, I'm going to see negative synergy here. It needs to play a little bit smart because they're going to be a little bit of engage.
Whoop, they go in onto Robodoba. He does manage to burrow his way out.
Yeah.
Almost gets caught by that snare from the Malfurion, but does manage to survive.
And Greymane actually almost gets also taken out almost for Micro Gods.
Yeah, Benjamin on this Li Ming has a lot of damage even this early in the game and cannot be underestimated when you try and go in for those early kills.
So we didn't see Benjamin last round. He didn't play Li Ming, I believe. But in an earlier game on the Li Ming, he did a very good job. So let's just see if he can continue up. It started very well. It's managed to put a lot of damage on that Greymane while Robo was in trouble.
Yeah. Should be interesting once these teams start fighting over these shrines. It is going to be the top one first up. It's going to be interesting to see how they approach this. Negative synergy are going to be a little bit late to this. The Skimmy on this Reyna is going to get caught out. The Adrenaline Rush is not going to be enough, and that's going to be a quick kill onto the Reyna. And just as this shrine is about to be started.
Yeah, that's a little bit too overextended. Maybe a little bit more communication from the team. Just let them know that they are rotating up. But he's going to get back into this fight pretty soon. It doesn't spell disaster for negative synergy. They possibly can still win on this shrine.
Or they're getting
Bullied out of it.
almost collapse on. Robodoba does get some damage laid down onto him, and he does get taken out by the amount of damage that comes out from the Greymane, the Thrall, and the Jaina. But throughout all this, Ninja in the bot lane is able to get a whole bunch of experience for the team, and they actually managed to make it to level 5 first. So just them being able to even slightly delay the taking of that Punisher is allowing Negative Synergy to get just a few advantages here and there that are going to help in the long run.
Yep.
And it was an Arcane Punisher first up.
That hurts. Like, you can just see how it's just slicing through these here. And they can't get it to jump over the walls either.
Yeah, it's a bit painful. Oh, there it goes. It finally jumps, and it looks like Diablo is
again.
almost able to pick up Skimmy, but the stun from Dustbirds does manage to stop that in its tracks, and they do manage to take out the the Punisher just before they manage to turn it around. And in the meantime, it's just going to be a whole bunch of soaking. Robodoba is in the mid lane going up against the Malfurion. Not much is going to be happening there. And Physics on the Jaina went down to the bot lane to stop Ninja from positioning a little bit too aggressively.
Yeah, that's it. Stop it. Oh, he looks like rotating. Nope, they are. Native Synergy are going to be picking up the mercenary camp here, and really, it's just a game of soak the experience now. Each team playing very similarly. That Native Synergy a little bit in the head for the moment, but
just a little bit quicker on the draw, and it looks like Negative Synergy could have come in to interrupt. The camp is not down close enough, and the amount of damage coming out from Li Ming so far is really starting to hurt. And Micro Gods are going to get onto the point. Robodoba does go in, and here comes the fight. Li Ming gets flipped out of the Blizzard as they do manage to take out the Diablo right away, and they actually steal the camp. And it looks like they're going to try and take out the Malfurion, but he does manage to just walk away from that.
Yeah,
he is without mana, and he can't really help too much. But
that was a really bad overpower from Diablo, unfortunately.
The amount of damage that would have gone on to that Li Ming probably would have been able to take her, or at least take her much closer to death, but being flung right out of the Blizzard did not help their cause. And it looks like Negative Synergy are going to get a little bit of an experience lead, hitting 8, about half level 4, and they're going to look towards this bottom camp just before the next shrine awakens, or is activated. And Ninja's coming to help.
Well, he's just getting in position ready to soak himself.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you can afford with these shrines to give up a little bit of the earlier kills as you try and do something else on the map to put pressure, put a little bit more impact on. Now they can all rotate up.
Yeah, they come. They're not too far out of position. Dustbirds and Robot out the front, Skimmy and Benjamin trying to drop in some damage from the back. Physics was trying to hit him from the side, but not able to get too much done, as it looks like Microgods are just able to take a lot of these Guardians without too much pressure on them. They do sort of go in onto the Malfurion. He does get damaged a fair bit, but going in a bit too far, Robodoba is forced to jump out. But there's no one going down just yet. It looks like Malfurion might be able to get taken out. The Punisher is taken, but they do manage to take the Malfurion and the Greymane out in return.
Ouch! Robodoba goes in against Diablo.
Fight for the Negative Synergy. They are getting hit up by the Punisher as Physics just pops him in the end, and they're actually going to be able to turn 2 kills back, and it looked like it was going to go so well for Negative Synergy, but that Punisher just came in and just started whacking people.
At the wrong time. It just really interrupted their flow. They had to get back behind it.
Yeah.
Losing these 3 members,
It was looking good, and then both of their damage dealers just got whopped in the face by that Punisher, and all of a sudden they just had nothing left and just fell over. Yeah, that's a bit problematic. Both teams do have their heroics. They're both level 10 with Negative Synergy, just a slight advantage, but not too much that could be visibly.
Well, like you said, they're both level 10. They both got heroics. And just have a quick look at these heroics. What we got? We've got the Locust Swarm from Anubrak. We've got the Hyperion for Reyna, Divine Shield for Uther. We've got Disintegrate for Li Ming, and the Clone for Abathar.
Yeah, and pretty much on the other side, it's pretty much standard. The Apocalypse, Sundering, go for the throw, Tranquility, Elemental. Yeah, that's pretty much as standard as.
It's a lovely
There's a
little
gank at the
pick.
bottom lane as they do manage to take out the Diablo. He did have the full stack, so he will be up immediately. But they do manage to take that siege camp on Microgod's side.
It gives them a bit of time. That's the next time Diablo. Like, it takes a while for Diablo to build up to those stacks where he almost insta-res. So it's going to take a bit of time for him to get back there. So the next time Tuke goes a little bit overextends or too deep, he might die and not initially, not come back straight away.
And that could be really problematic, especially with how some of these team fights are really starting to drag out.
Mm.
It looks like Microgods are trying to have a little bit of a gank towards, or this is going to be really dangerous. The Sundering does go out and it does stun up too, but they're not able to get the kill onto the Li Ming. They do manage to take out the Reyna, but on the top side, the damage going down onto the Greymane is almost enough. Benjamin doesn't actually get taken out. The Apocalypse is coming down, does manage to teleport out of that. The damage onto the Uther is enough to take him out, and it looks like it's just going to be trading 2 for 1 in favor of Microgods.
Yeah, it's definitely a Micro Gods playing very well there, capturing the Sundering went off, and they couldn't quite get Li Ming, but it did section off for Reyna, and Reyna actually got trapped and taken out. But he is back up because it's still pretty low level right now, so the death times aren't too bad.
Yeah, it was really good. That was a really good plan from Microgods to realize that Negative Synergy were going to be going for that Bruiser camp and manages to catch them out at it. And for the first time in this game, Negative Synergy are going to be the first ones to the Shrine, but they're not able to stick around too long as they do manage to get a bit of damage down. Or they're just taking more damage than actually dealing. The Divine Shield had to get popped onto Skimmy as he did get caught out a bit. Robodover does manage to burrow out. The Sundering does go through, and it's not going to be long before Reyna gets taken out, and that's the first kill of the fight as Dasperts is all by himself, and they're not going to kill him yet.
No one turned
Not yet,
around
there
to
he
hit
goes,
him.
they do take him out. But it is going to be just another 1 for 2 as actually it's going to be a little bit more as
Oh, they're just collecting
gets taken out, the
kills
Li
now.
Ming just gets slammed as it's going to be a 3 for 1, and it looks like it's going to be yet another Punisher in favor of Microgods, and they're really starting to take control of these fights.
Yeah, and this is the downside with the Abathur pick is that he's just not a body in those fights, and even then he didn't really clone Li Ming until quite late into it, and so couldn't really get the impact of the enemies being around. They then kind of got a bit silly, and maybe get a bit too brave or brazen, and they just led to a couple more deaths.
Yeah, it looks like the Abathur is not really panning out as well as they would have liked. He is able to give them a decent experience lead, or not lead, but manage to keep them in the game despite the amount of kills that they've been giving up. But it just hasn't, for these extended fights, the evolution just is not enough to sway the fights in their favor. And they're just losing fights, and then they're just losing objectives in the meantime. It looks like Robert's trying to get a little bit aggressive. The spikes do manage to pick up Physics and Vigorak, but not much more than that. They're just going to have to go back and soak some more waves. Oh, Ninja does use the ultimate evolution. They're looking like they wanted to fight. The disintegration rate does come in, and everything comes flying down as the amount of damage going on to the Nubrak is more than enough to take him out. Li Ming almost gets taken up, but the Divine Shield does manage to go on, and here comes the reset. Potentially, the disintegration rate goes down. Benjamin does manage to teleport out. He needs to get more of the damage down. Despots is about to go down. He does get taken out, and the damage dealers are left, but they don't have enough of a front line to feel comfortable going forward, and it's either one or the other. Either the damage dealers gets taken out immediately and there's absolutely nothing for the rest of the team to do, or the front lines get taken out and Benjamin and Skimmy just not in a position where they can actually step forward to deal the damage.
Well, yeah, Nubrak's that's the trouble with Nubrak falling so early in the fight, is that there's just no one to protect them, and so they have to play that fight, shoot and retreat game. They can't stick around, or it's going to be more than just a new rack dying.
Yeah, and as you brought up in the draft, the solo tank on Uberak just isn't really doing it. He's just not durable enough to stand up to 3 really solid damage dealers.
You can't need that big initial. You need to be able to survive. If he can survive that initial wave of damage, he should be pretty good and be able to interrupt or sort of. Oh, what's going on here? We're going to see a bit of a confrontation. Robodover has found them. He does borrow out, not wanting to fight. Negative Synergy. He's trying to back out here very hard.
They were trying to get to level 16. They were able to get those talents thanks to Ninja soaking in the bottom lane, and now Ninja is coming in for the second Reyna, and they're trying to get some damage down. He's being aggressive, but with the amount of healing that Malfurion is able to do, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. He does just get moon blasted back into nothingness as Ninja will go back to soaking this bot lane, and Microgods just have the position on this shrine, and it's going to be hard to see how Negative Synergy are going to be able to get in there without the evolution up anymore.
Yeah, they've lost that damage. I mean, they still have a little bit of damage, a lot of damage Raiming and Reyna. That's not gone, but yeah, to come up against this 5 men, they don't really have the bodies to really handle that.
Yeah, and with Togo and Physics being very aggressive with their positioning, and Orb, here comes everything as the Apocalypse does manage to lock down most of them, and also the Sundering, and that's going to be a whitewash, and they're just going to be able to clean up the rest of that fight. Vigorak is going in Orb. The flash away does manage to keep Benjamin safe, but that is a 3 for nothing, and they're just going to clean up this Bruiser camp and also clean up the rest of that shrine, and they're going to be able to push maybe on, probably push down that keep at least. And it's just the timing of those ultimate evolutions from Ninja. They just haven't seemed to be doing too much. We talked about it. Maybe the Leeming with the resets could, with the double res, well, 2 Leemings with the resets could get some work done, but they just haven't been coming in at the right time to be effective.
Yeah, that's it. And that opportunity just then was just a missed opportunity. It was used earlier when Robodover met up with the Diablo, and just doesn't, like I said, nothing came from it, unfortunately.
Yeah, now they're in a little bit of a hole in experience, and there's not much an Abathur can do when you are behind, and it looks like they're able to clear up the rest of that wave with the...
Well, Abathur was actually doing a really good job down the bottom lane while that fighting was going on. He did clear out the bottom fortification. He
did manage to clear up that fort, but that's only a means to kind of mitigate losses. They're not... It's not really proactively gaining.
They're still in a bad situation. They're
in a hole. They need to do something drastic to get out of it. I think they need to actually just pick off the Malfurion, make sure that they do not have enough healing for the rest of the fight. Because otherwise, this front line from Microgods is just going to be able to just bully around this really squishy lineup. They are going to be able to take that outer fort, and they're just going to keep on pushing through, or they're just going to back off. Okay, they've done their damage, they've got the experience lead, they're almost level 20, which once that happens they could look to get some good fights in, especially seeing how the next shrine should be up somewhat soonish. And if they're able to get level 20 before that, then Negative Synergy just should not be able to fight.
It'd be very hard for Negative Synergy to take a fight, at that time. That's been a lot of time soaking. Interesting enough that we didn't see Microgods obviously trying to get to level 20. Didn't send anyone to the top lane just to harass Abathur. Yeah,
it looks like they should be able to get it somewhat passively and by taking out this Bruiser camp. And there we go, there's that level 20, and it's just in time for that camp to be pushing and for that shrine to be activating. And there really is not much that Negative Synergy can actually do about this. They're pretty much confined to their base, and if they try and push out too far, they're going to run into a very strong team fight.
Yeah, I don't think they can just sit back idle either.
It's a hard decision to make. They can't sit back idle, but they can't fight. They're not in a position, and they don't have the necessary talents to be able to fight. It's going to be hard. They're probably just going to have to sit back and take this Punisher to the face. And actually, they're looking like they might want to try and... No, never mind. They look like they might want to try and get a bit of a pick, as Microgods might have wanted to push forward, but here comes that Punisher. It's a frozen one, and that can be really painful if you manage to get caught out. If you get caught out, you're pretty much going to get locked down for days.
Oh, and it just allows the enemy team to follow up on you. If you're caught in, they can follow up with you, take him out. And yeah, this might be a good punish to have in this situation, pushing into the enemy's base.
Ooh, and the amount of damage onto the Malfurion is decent, but not enough follow-up, and he's just able to heal himself back up. The Hyperion does go down to try and deter them just a little bit. The Punisher is still going strong, just slapping away at those towers, and it's also giving Microgods the room to just keep on battering through the base of Negative Synergy. They take it and then just leave it. They've done the damage. They want to just take that lead and not push it too far. They have a lot of the map that they can work with. They can take pretty much all of the mercenary camps and then push with them towards the base.
Towards their goal, and it was a good decision then leaving, because Negative Synergy are at 20. This is the stage now. Really, It's anyone's game. All it's going to take is for one team to wipe, and the other team's basically won. If everyone from Microgods wipes, Negative Synergy will just go in through the bottom of their base. If
they have the damage to be able to do it.
That's it. If Negative Synergy wipes, it's just a clean run to the core for Microgods.
Yeah.
Everything up into the game has sort of been mute up until this moment, right? Everything that's happened in this game effectively has been cancelled out now.
Well, I think it's going to require 2 convincing fights from Negative Synergy for them to actually be able to win. One fight just to be able to knock down a bunch of structures, and one more to finish off. But oh geez, that's a lot of siege games. It's just going to take one solid fight from Microgods to just finish off this game. And they're just posturing that. Ninja does manage to get some damage on from the side. Vikrak does jump onto him, but doesn't actually clean up. A bit of damage going down, but doesn't go all in, and that is pretty much all that Epithet evolution is going to get done, and it's pretty much done nothing when you consider the fact that Malfurion's just going to be able to heal it all up.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good, he did target Malfurion. It was a lot of damage going on to him, but then...
Well, they get a little bit of damage onto Tuka, but they're just going to be able to disengage. They're not able to go too far in the amount of heal, and Malfurion is just going to be able to heal him back up, and the amount of damage that the Greymane does with those cocktails is really starting to sting. Ooh, the disintegration does come in. They do manage to knock up the Greymane, but the Tranquility does go down. The double ultimate from Microgods does manage to get the Li Ming, and this fight is going very much in favor of Microgods, as Godzilla does go flashing in and gets taken out by Skimmy, and he does have the damage, but he doesn't have the survivability. Tuka does go flying in and manages to finish off, as Ninja has actually used the evolution for a second maneuver arc, and they do manage to take out the Greymane, but here comes the field of mines, and they're going to be able to keep on chasing through. They do manage to take out the Malfurion. That is very good. But do they have the damage to finish off the Jaina? The Abathur Hat is going on to Robodoba. He does not have the sustainability, and the Abathur does manage to take him out, and Physics is going to get away from the Uther. The Stasis does manage to save him, but he actually does get taken out.
He gets the Jaina kill. And now he's chasing down Tuka. Now, interesting here,
the
Tuka.
Field of mines. And Tuka is actually able to avoid the mines. And
I don't think Daspers there going to hunt him down, but that was some really good playing there by Daspers.
That was really good. And in all of that, there's that Bruiser camp from Negative Synergy that's been shoving down that top wave, and that's just in time for that shrine to come up. And it looks like Negative Synergy has the potential to take this Immortal, Punisher, sorry. Especially when Ninja comes up and pops up a bunch of Locusts to help.
Yeah, well, they're going to head back towards the lane now. But yeah,
Ooh,
that's I
that was a
wasn't
really
expecting that fight. When that Thunder went down, I thought that's it. This is done for Negative Synergy. But to be able to stay in the fight, follow up, Uther just overperforming his role, getting some kills, chasing, just yeah, I don't think that's something that Jane has experienced that much. Is Uther the
yeah, when
healer?
the Li Ming goes down so early, you pretty much call that a lost fight, but they managed to make it work. And it looks like they're going to be able to force them away and just pop a little bit of damage onto the Malfurion as they do manage to take the Arcane Punisher. Here we go.
Yeah, it's a big one. They should be able to get
Meanwhile,
into the base now.
meanwhile, in the base of Negative Synergy, their core is being knocked at by a whole bunch of
Ooh, yeah.
siege minions, and they've knocked it down to 60%. And
The
that's
Winions,
it.
the Winions doing their jobs.
Oh, here we go. Here comes the fight. Rapidover goes in with the Locust Storm. They do manage to get some damage down onto the Greymane. They do not get him yet. Malfurion almost gets taken out. The Apocalypse does go down. The Divine Shield does go down. The Greymane does get taken out. Malfurion looks like he's next. He does actually get taken out, and they do actually also take out the Jaina, and that's going to be 3 kills in favor of Negative Synergy, and they look like they could just finish it right here. What? They were almost dead in the water, and now it looks like they're going to be able to win this. They managed to almost take out Godzilla, but they're just going to turn onto this core as it does not look like Godzilla and Tugra are going to be able to defend this.
That is incredible.
That's a turnaround. That's a turnaround win, and Negative Synergy are actually going to win the game and win this whole tournament.
That's it, and that was off the
Wow.
back of a fight that looked very detrimental for him. And
Wow.
Uther came and Uther won them the game
Wow,
by
that-
getting some final kills.
MVP Uther.
Oh,
Oh my
it's
god.
actually Uther and New Rack, I should admit.
That
Great.
was. They should not have won that fight.
That was a very surprising situation, but it was just on their favors. We saw them they left that top camp going up and in the top lane, and it just gave them so much value. I mean, I guess they were even surprised from the value it gave them. And then that fight broke out, and to kill so many heroes off the back of a Sunder that was detrimental to you, and just have a Nubarak and Uther left alive.
That was just insane.
Yeah, and they did. And they win. Negative Synergy came back right at the end. I cannot believe it. And they are it. So, congratulations, Negative Synergy. You are the ANZ Summer Showdown champions. You guys are the proud winners of $250 donated by ANZHeroes.com. But Micro Gods are not left out in the cold. 4 runners up for second, they receive $175. And the third place Override will be receiving $75. More admins will get in contact with you after the event, and you guys can figure all that stuff out. But that is it, GL. That is for the day. This has been the ANZ Summer Showdown. We've been very thankful to run it. We ran into some issues during the day, but they've all been semi-resolved, I hope.
We got through them in the end.
That's it. So, that's it. So, GL Phoenix, thank you very much for shoutcasting with us today. And tell me, good sir, where can people get a hold of you if they're interested in learning more about what you do in Heroes of the Storm?
My Twitter is @glphoenix_. I do write articles occasionally for Go-To Gamers, and that's pretty much it. Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
Not too easy. No, it's been great having you on the stream. Thank you very much for taking a lion's share of the shoutcasting.
All good.
It's, my voice sort of came back today enough to do what I could do, but definitely it's on the mend. I want to say a big thank you to today's admins. I had 2 great admins helping me out. Thank you both very much for your time and efforts, especially with the earlier on in the games. So big shout out to the admins of the event. Thank you very much, guys. And that's it. So thanks very much for watching, everyone. I am been Disconcur. This has been an ANZHeroes.com event and stream. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all next month.